This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1979-82 Fall League. We are in the American League Championship Series. We have the California Angels and the Burlington Expos in the championship. These were your teams with byes, the top two seeds. And they meet in the finals. Always nice to see what's on paper, theoretically, the two best teams in the league meet for the league championship. Don't often see it. A wild card team or an off-by division winner would sneak in there. Well, we get 1 and 2. Let's take a big guess at overall records. Let's go there and see how we got here. The Angels snuck up to a 2 seed and are 19 and 12. They knocked off the Brewers, finishing 19 and 14. It is the Expos with 22-10 wins and losses. Best team in the American League, folks. Not a surprise, really. Yankees and the Orioles, and to a lesser extent the Blue Jays and Red Sox, are beating each other up out east to clear a path for the Expos to be the #1 seed. Here they are, folks. This is an outstanding era for this Montreal Expo team that relocated just 2 hours south across the border into Lake Champlain. And the rotation for this series, the Angels, they had Nolan Ryan pitching Game 5. The Expos had Steve Rogers pitching Game 5. So we won't have the Aces in Game 1. We'll have to wait. The Angels will send Dave Frost, Ross Baumgarten, Nolan Ryan, Mike Witt, a day off, and then Frost, Ryan, and either Baumgarten or Witt. For the Expos, it'll be Bill Gullickson, Rudy May, then Steve Rogers, Scott Sanderson, a day off, and then Gullickson, Rogers, and then either Rudy May or Scott Sanderson in a Game 7. Good pitching. Interesting thing about these teams, the Angels are loaded with right-handed hitters, probably the weakest left-handed bats in the game. And that is not good against an Expo team that is dominant with right-handed starters, as you could theoretically exploit them with left-handers, and the Angels just don't populate that way. Nor do the Angels rely on left-handed starters to get lefties out. Matter of fact, Rudy May is a lefty starter who gets righties out and not lefties out. Dave Hamilton's a lefty reliever who gets righties out, not lefties out. So really, the advantage is pretty big, in my opinion, for the Expos. Could they go to a World Series representing the American League? Could be that way. Could it be the Angels, who were in the World Series a year ago, lost it, and trying to rekindle that magic to get back and still make an attempt for a World Series ring? The Angels were very good in 79 and 82. We know the Expos were really good in 81. They beat Philadelphia in the playoffs, losing to the Dodgers. Let's get started here. We'll give you Game 1. Game 2, and then we'll continue tomorrow with the remaining games necessary in the series. So it'll be Don Baylor leading off. 66 is single 1 of 4, line out. Bob Molinaro, 410, pops to third. Ron Jackson, 6'11", first X. First baseman is Al Oliver. He's a 4-20 at first. He makes the play. Home cooking there. Bottom of 1, it's Tim Raines. 310 is this guy to right. Brian Little put in the 2 spot. 46, double 1, base hit. C-stealer. You have Blackwell, the -2 arm catching. You have Gary Carter, the -3 arm catching. Won't be quite such a willy-nilly stolen base series like we saw with the Phillies and the Portland team. Andre Dawson, 1-8 center. Al Oliver, your 1982 batting champion. Base hit on 2-6. Runners in the corners, 2 outs, Larry Parrish. 6-12, pitcher. We go to the second. It's Bobby Grich. 35 for Grich. Homer 1-2, doubles, a 2-base hit. Biff Pocoroba, 53. Flies to right X. In right field, we have Cromartie, a 3-9. Makes the catch. Doug DeCinces, 2-8, is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Tim Blackwell. 5-11, second X. Second baseman today is Doug Flynn. He's a 1-8 second baseman. Next to play. All right, bottom of 2. It's Gary Carter, 4-4. Off the Frost card. It is triple, 1-8, double the rest. It is a 2-base hit. Runner at second for Warren Cromartie. 2-4, bounces to short. Runner holds up there for Doug Flynn. 34, same ground ball to short. Runner still stuck at second base for Stevie Ray Braun. 2-4, bounces back to the mound. Another quiet start, just like the NLCS, which started with a scoreless 9-inning game. It was 1-0 after. That was a 1-0 final in 11 innings. We're going to do the same thing in the American League? Where's all this pitching coming from all of a sudden? It's been a robust hitting year. Disco Dan Ford leads off. 65, bounce to second. Tim Flannery, 1-2, pops to short. And back up top to the groove. Don Baylor, 55. That's a base hit off of Gullickson. Ace Steeler, 2 outs. Do you try Carter? If you try him early. Test him out, see what we got. Baylor's going to try a stolen base. And he's out on a 15. Well, it's pretty much going to be coin tosses, I'm thinking, for most of the Angels against Carter. Tim Raines, 54, center X. It is Dan Ford's 2-9 in center field. Makes the catch. Brian Little, 1-9, bounce to second. And Andre Dawson, 45, a double off the Frost card. Al Oliver, 65, flies to left. Into the fourth. Breezing along. Bob Molinaro, 1-9. Rounds to first. Ron Jackson, 54. This is Homer, 1-2. Double the rest. It's a 2-base hit. Runner at second for Grich, who doubled earlier. 1-4. Flies to left. And with 2 outs. Biff Pocoroba, 35, is a walk. 2 on, 2 outs. Big at bat here. Doug DeCinces. Let's take a peek at a card. Haven't seen anybody yet. DeCinces. Brilliant, 82. A 1E23 third baseman with 30 homers and a 301 average. He blossomed. He had injury concerns at the end of his tenure in Baltimore. Gets traded, and he blossoms at third base. Displaces Carney Lansford in the process, who was the Angel third baseman previously. Nice little late career push here with California for DeCinces. Plays through the middle of the decade. Big at bat. Here's the pitch. 1-4, just misses and skies the center field. Bottom of the fourth. It's Larry Parrish, their third baseman. 55, second X. Grich, a 2E14 second baseman next to play. Gary Carter, 36. Single 1 of 16 is a base hit. Cromartie, 211. That's a 4-6-3 double play. We'll go to the fifth. Tim Blackwell, 39. That's going to be a single. Chance, 1 of 14. And it's not a single. He lines out on a 17. I spoke too quickly. Nice line drive caught. Disco Dan Ford, 38, is a base hit for the C Steeler. Flannery's going to do a hit and run. Try and break this thing up a little bit with some special plays. And a hit and run single on a 5. Nice play there by Flannery. Base hit on the hit and run. Dan Ford's at third. 1 out. They're going to bring it up for Don Baylor. As the game's scoreless, we want to keep it that way if we can. 34, short B. That was the call. It is the shortstop throwing the runner out the plate. Dan Ford caught. Gary Carter gloves him out at the plate. So that moves Flannery to second, Baylor at first with 2 outs. As the Angels have put 2 men on the last 2 innings. Big at bat for Bob Molinaro. 1-9 is a grounder to first. So Gullickson gets out of some jams today. And we're still scoreless. Bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, bottom of the fifth. Doug Flynn, 57 is a K. Stevie Ray Braun, 65, flies left, and with 2 outs. Back up top, Tim Purple Rains. 68 lines to third. Angels have only put one more batter on than the Expos in a scoreless game. As we go to the sixth, it's Ron Jackson. 48 is a K. Bobby Grich, 6'11", first X, and this is the 420 first baseman again. He makes an error. Pokaroba, 47, single on a 4. He lines out on a 7, and with 2 outs, the Sensei's 1-8 is a K. Wow. Bottom of the sixth, Ryan Little, 47, single on a 19 off Frost, is a base hit. C Steeler. Andre Dawson, 66, flies left. Al Oliver, 67, lines a second. Pretty bad rolls we're getting here. Larry Parrish, 1-9, grounds short. Well, we go to the seventh. Just moving right along here. Tim Blackwell, 2-8, there's a base hit. Disco Dan Ford, 1 for 2, 4-11. Right X, this is Cromartie. He's a 3. He makes the catch, but it's a fly A. So Blackwell, actually one of the slowest catchers, actually tags up to second base. I guess he would caught the ball in foul territory in the deep corner. So Blackwell gets to second base with 1 out for Tim Flannery. 68, flies to right, and with 2 outs, back up top to your 1979 American League Most Valuable Player, Don Baylor. Here's the pitch. 34 is a ground ball short B again. So that is the inning. Scoreless game. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hitter for Gullickson, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hitter for Frosty the Snowman. Bottom of the seventh, stretch time here in Burlington, Lake Champlain area, regional team. You know, the thing is, folks, we moved into the American League. We moved them out of the National League East, but we didn't move them to Washington, D.C. They're just 2 hours south, hour and 45-minute drive, so they get plenty of regional support from Canada and the U.S. in the Green Mountain state of Vermont. So, stretch time music. We are enjoying Montreal legend Leonard Cohen's masterpiece, Songs of Leonard Cohen, 1967. Thought we'd kick off the championship season of the Expos in grand style here, featuring Suzanne, Sisters of Mercy, So Long, Marianne. Wonderful, wonderful LP. McCabe and Mrs. Miller, all that wonderful stuff from Leonard Cohen, 1967. Just a total masterpiece here. Back to the game. A quiet game reflected in song there. Scoreless. Bottom of the seventh. Dave Frost, a calm amongst the crowd here. In the bottom of the seventh, it will be Gary Carter leading off. 1-8 for Gary Carter. Let's take a peek. They did their stretch time salute to Cohen, and immediately Gary Carter rewards the home team. 1-8 is gone. 1979, 22 homers and a 283 average for your -3 arm catcher. And the Spos get a 1-0 lead. Warren Cromartie, 2-11, bounce to second. Doug Flynn, 35, third. Stevie Ray Braun, 2-8 is a walk. And pinch running for Stevie Ray Braun, a new shortstop, McKelleher. Back up top to Tim Raines. 2-8 for Raines is a single to center field. The 12 runner will not go. He got a -1 arm in center. We'll leave him. Don't make the final out of third base. Frosty's a starter 7. He has just hit point of weakness. And you have Brian Little up. And you're gonna Frosty's very good. Their bullpen's very weak. Do you let him pitch broken to one batter? Yeah, Brian Little's just not the guy that would provoke a pitching change. So no, with first and second and 2 outs, Frosty's broken. He's throwing a lot of pitches, but he's also just getting up 1 run. He'll pitch to Brian Little, broken. So a dot on the pitcher's card, which happens so frequently. And you think it doesn't till it does. I once thought that players hit 400 or better off a broken pitcher because of all the dots that get hit. So here we go. Brian Little. 2 on, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 56! I'm showing you the card, folks. Simply have to do it. Why talk about it? 56 on Dave Frost against the lefty. Sure, like I said, you leave a broken pitcher in, it happens almost immediately. Yep. Just did. Just did. That's a base hit. That's now a 2-0 game. You think you'd learn your lesson, you know, why the rule's in place to begin with. But, nope. I'll leave a broken pitcher in, invariably. Of course, we realize, with common sense, that the odds still aren't high that you're going to roll one. But when it does, it just burns you up. So, Little's at first, Raines is at third. It's 2-0, and we need somebody to get Andre Dawson out. And, California's bullpen. We'll go to, I guess we'll go to John Curtis in the 7th. He's pretty good. Mark Collier is their closer. He's their best pitcher. And then Dan Boone, Paul Mitchell, and John Curtis. Curtis and Paul Mitchell are rather curious, as Mitchell is a righty who gets lefties out, and Curtis is a lefty who gets righties out. Boone is a lefty who doesn't get a lot of people out in general. And Mark Clear is the guy who finishes games. You basically have a 4-man rotation and Mark Clear and 3 other dudes. But anyway, here comes John Curtis. Let me give you John's stats. He was a Padre in 1980. 10-8, 3.51 ERA, 187 innings. Not bad. Pretty decent guy. Probably would be better suited as a starting pitcher, not a relief pitcher. So he comes on in to face Andre Dawson with runners on the corners and 2 outs. And here is the pitch. 3-5 for Dawson is single, 1 of 15. That is a base hit. That's a walk versus a righty, but a walk does not score a run. It is now 3-0. First and second with 2 outs, and the lefty, Al Oliver. 5-10, catcher's card. This won't score a run. Blackwell is a 3-5. And the 3-5 catcher. Let me just double check again here. Blackwell, 3-5. That is an error, so it does not score a run as he fumbles a dribbler in front of the plate. It does leave the bases loaded, though, as they bat around, score 3 on the bases, and it's Larry Parrish at the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Larry Parrish. 45 off of Curtis is your dreaded bases loaded walk. It is now 4-0. And back to Gary Carter, who started this thing with a home run. Could he get a home run and a grand slam in the same inning? Here's the pitch to Gary Carter. 37 is a fly ball to left. So Curtis eventually gets the final out after letting 3 guys reach. 4-0. Bill Gullickson is sailing along here. Defensively, one little note is that Rich Murray will play first base. Al Oliver goes to DH. Go 6 outs to get here in a 4-0 opener. Bob Molinaro leads off in the top of the 8th. 3-6, you hit his card. Let's take a look at Molinaro. 1980 Chicago White Sox. Molinaro, by template, would be considered the second best hitter on that White Sox team that was very bad in 1980 with this card. But still, the only left-handed batters that this team employs, are you ready, is Tim Flannery and this guy, Bob Molinaro. The only left-handed batters that the California Angels employ on their roster. 3-6, homer 1-2, double the rest is a 2-base hit. Now you got Ron Jackson. 68, flies left. Bobby Grich. 3-6 is a base hit to center field. 4-0. Molinaro will not take on the Andre Dawson arm. And they need to get a base runner to break Bill Gullickson and get into the Expo bullpen, which is good anyway. Runners on the corners, playing back for Biff Pocaroba. 68 is a sac fly to right field. The Angels are on the board. It's 4-1. And with 2 outs, you saw his card earlier, it's Doug DeCinces. 2-9, a grounder to shortstop. Bottom of the 8th, Curtis continues. It'll be Warren Cromartie. 5-10 is catcher's card. Had an error last time. This time he makes the play. Doug Flynn. 2-10 flies left. And now Kelleher in the 9 spot. 66, double 1 of 5, base hit off of Curtis. Back up top to Tim Purple Reigns. 112 is hit by the pitch. 2 on, 2 outs for Rich Murray, and that'll be it for Mr. Curtis. Pitches an inning, puts about 5 guys on, and it's a 3-run game, is it not? I got to go. It could just be for one batter. I got to go Mark Clear, believe it or not. Waste the closer, who will probably pitch a lot in this series, I'm guessing, because you want to keep it a 3-run game, and you don't trust the righty Paul Mitchell or the lefty Daniel Boone. So Clear comes in. He was 11-11 in 1980 for the Angels, 3.31 ERA. We'll try and get Rich Murray out to end this threat in the 8th. Rich Murray. 2 on, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Rich Murray. 33, grounds to short. We go to the 9th. Gullickson. 2 batters would hit his point of weakness. They have an outstanding bullpen. Elias Sosa, Sparky Lyle, Enrique Romo, Dave Hamilton. Plenty of postseason experience. Dave Hamilton with those Oakland teams, Enrique Romo with the 79 Pirates, Sparky Lyle with the Yankees, and Sosa actually was property of Montreal and their best pitcher of the 4. So in the 9th, it will be Tim Blackwell leading off. 45, Lions the 2nd. Disco Dan Ford. 32, Lomax, and with 2 outs, Gullickson trying to finish what he starts. Tim Flannery, who's 1 for 3. 67 is a strikeout. He doesn't need any assistance. The big 7th inning was all this Expo team needed to finish off kind of an overmatched California team by a score of 4-1. Gullickson, complete game victory. He'll take the win. Dave Frost takes the loss. We'll come back with the results of Game 2, which will feature Rudy May for the Expos, a lefty, who gets righties out, and Ross Baumgarten, battle of lefties in Game 2. We'll come back for that result at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Well, folks, here's the box score of the Game 1 you saw. The Expos, the big 7th inning, 4-1 victors. Bill Gullickson, 9 innings, 8 hits. A walk of 4 Ks, complete game. Frosty the Snowman gave up 9 hits in 6 2/3, 4 runs, 3 of those were earned. Big 7th inning for the Expos. Do the Angels now have an answer in Game 2? Can they tie this thing up, sending it across country? Let's go check out Game 2. Fascinating game, folks. Ross Baumgarten versus Rudy May. In this one, what needs to be noted, once the Expos face a lefty, Tim Raines goes to play second base instead of the outfield. Dan Norman goes to play left field. Interesting note there with a good defensive Doug Flynn on the bench. So, of course, what happens? Dan Norman in left field, drops the fly ball. Then a ground ball to Tim Raines, shoots through his legs, that's a run. Then here, ground ball to Tim Raines, shoots through his leg, another run. Fly ball to Dan Norman, he drops another fly ball. So boom, 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 boom. The 4 plays off the defense amount to a couple runs here early. Meanwhile, it is Ross Baumgarten tossing goose eggs for these Angels, as his left-handed mastery is mystifying the Angels, mystifying the Expos. In the 5th inning, we get a Bill Sample double, and then Ron Jackson, who hits about 340 against lefties, gets an RBI single. It's 3-0 visitors. Bottom of the 6th, the Prodigal Son Part 1. Tim Raines made those miscues. Solo shot, has power, both ways as a rookie. Can you believe that? Against lefties and righties. He's only had 5 homers. He gave him power both ways. It is gone. But the Angels had a couple more runs. Bill Sample, a double, scoring Dan Ford from first base. Bobby Grich, a solo shot. off of Enrique Romo in relief. It seems this game is over. It's 5-1 visitors. Then in the bottom of the 8th, Dan Norman, remember him? He hits a home run. So the guys who gave up the 2 runs here get 2 runs there in a matter of whatever. And so Ross Baumgarten, he's starting to get a little tired, but he's still pitching fantastically. He walks Raines. And now you've got a moment where you really should think of taking him out versus Rich Murray. But he's pitching so darn well. This is like the same thing we did with Dave Frost in Game 1. We're like, leave him in there. What could possibly go wrong? Well, Rich Murray rolls a homer, 1-4, fly ball the rest on his card. And he gets it. Not that 4, but he rolled a 4. He gets the homer, 1-4, fly ball the rest, making this a 5-4 game. So Baumgarten still exits with a lead. Mark Clear comes in. After an out, Al Oliver, homer, 1-4, double the rest. He hits a home run. And now we're starting to think the Expos are just going to be the luckiest team in the league, getting these 4 home runs in 3 innings to tie this thing at 5, sending Elias Sosa out in the top of the 9th inning to slam the door on any more Angels scoring, while Mark Clear is going to start becoming exhausted having to finish these games. Goes well for the Angels. Top of the 10th, it is Ron Jackson with his 3rd hit of the game. One of the reasons why they didn't make the trade for Rod Carew. They already had Ron Jackson play first base. Solo shot on his own card. It's homer, 1-7, double the rest. So he hits a 1-7, he hits a 1-4, he hits a 1-4. So ball must have been flying out Lake Champlain today. It is a 6-5. Mark Clear having a heck of a year. You'd expect him to walk base runners, folks. 2 2/3, the solo homer, no walks, 3 strikeouts. He gets Tim Raines to strike out, Brian Little pinch hit fly out, and then Andre Dawson flies to left to end the game. Angels win Game 2, 6-5, persevering after the world caved in the bottom of the 8th. And so, yeah, folks, the Angels seem to be this team that statistically on paper, they don't look very good, but when it comes to postseason baseball, they're on a roll, folks. And now the California Angels will take home field advantage back to Anaheim with them. Thanks for checking this out. And we'll pick this up tomorrow. American League Championship Series. Thanks for checking it out. We'll see you next time.